I'm surprised that there's concern. I think it has a lot to do with this. She's a black woman. Black women get everything done. We've saved this country's democracy for
She's obviously amazing, but what specifically?
But, well...
Like, no, I mean,
where shall I start? I mean, she was in the Senate, of course.
But no, I mean, as Vice President, of course,
she's highly. The Inflation Reduction Act. I mean, she was the face of Roe v. Wade. I mean, the list goes on and on. I'd like to ask you, what did Pence do? What did Pence do except put his lips firmly on the butt of Donald Trump and still is fighting a subpoena to testify against Trump?
Oh, what did Kamala Harris do? The Inflation Reduction Act and Roe versus Wade. Okay, but Roe v. Wade was over. Well, you know what? What are facts? To the clucking hens on The View. Joining me now to weigh in is director at MRC-TV, Eric Scheiner. Eric, don't know what they meant. You know, she's the face of Roe versus Wade. Okay, fine. The Inflation Reduction Act. What did Kamala do for the inflation? I thought there was this thing called Congress. I don't know.
And of course, that act, reduced inflation oh so well. So that's something you totally want to own. Kind of like being the face for killing babies. I guess that's something. No one can tell you. They didn't mention border czar. They didn't mention, head chef of the word salad, buffet that is served up.
School bus connoisseur.
Lead cackler. Nobody cackles like Kamala. They didn't mention anything. This is funny. This has been a problem on not only The View, but also some of the other cable outlets. MSNBC, just a few weeks ago, they had a panel discussing how qualified Kamala Harris is. And they came up with, well, she's black and she represents a lot of Democratic support. She represents, she represents the base of the Democratic Party. That's all they could come up with. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we mentioned a few. You could also mention the fact that more people resigned from her office over a short period of time than almost any other government official. And that's got to be some kind of record.
Yeah, well, yeah, on par with the Biden administration, setting all of the wrong records, shattering all the wrong glass ceilings. I want to play another clip from this exchange. They double down on their defense of Kamala Harris. Let's look at that.
Fox News every single day goes after Kamala Harris, trying to portray her as inept and some kind of bumbling fool. She's not. That's not who she is.
So right there, they said the Fox News trying to portray her as inept and some kind of bumbling fool. She's not. They say she's not a bumbling fool, Eric. I guess they've never watched a Kamala Harris speech.
They've never watched the video evidence. It's out there in droves. It's all over the internet. It gets broadcast on a regular basis. I don't know how they missed it. And I like this. Well, what did Pence do? Well, that wasn't the question. You're the one on the panel that brought up that she's so qualified. The question was, what does she do? Well, what did Pence do? Don't flip the question. Answer the question. And the fact is, they can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, but because of course they can. You can't defend the indefensible. That's been something the Biden administration has tried to do at every single turn. They do it with abortion, gender ideology, transing the kids. They defend all of that, and if you try to defend them defending it, you're going to get hit. You're going to get hit by a bus, a yellow school bus, maybe. In Kamala's
the only reason you wouldn't like her is because you're racist.
Right.
I mean, that's what you got from The View.
Yeah,
that's it.
If you don't like that Kamala Harris supports killing babies, that just means you hate black people. That's how the mental gymnastics works in Washington, Eric. Speaking of incoherent people, Jean-Pierre, another member of the Biden administration who can't seem to talk like a normal person. Let's just play this clip. I'll let it speak for itself.
What we are going to promise is that we're going to do this. We're going to move forward with this kind of system, this immigration system that has been gutted, really, truly gutted by the last administration. We're going to move forward and do it in a humane way. We're going to do it in a safe way, and we're going to do it in the way that moves us forward. And so what we have been seeing, what we've been dealing with, again, is trying to fix the damage that the last administration did. What we have done is we've opened the path to make sure that people have a way to get, to come through and do it in a legal pathway.
Now, just hearing that, and of course, you have no idea what she's. I actually have the transcript here, and I'm reading it. That's kind of one of her more coherent answers, Eric. So what does that tell you?
I wish you had a bouncing ball to go underneath as she talked with subtitles. Yeah, they're moving forward with a broken system, and it's moving forward, and they're going to do something different by moving forward. There's a lot of moving forward. Who knows? It's almost like English is a second language for Jean-Pierre. She doesn't seem to be able to grasp it. And this was a softball interview show she's on with Chris Hayes on MSNBC. It's not like she's being grilled with some tough questions like you've seen her at some of the White House press conferences. This was pretty easy going. And if you watch the thing in the entirety, you can almost see even Chris Hayes is like cringing. He's embarrassed, and he's supporting her entirely. You can tell by the way he's framing the questions, but even he's like, oh gosh, no, this isn't going well.
Well, the art of being the White House press secretary is just the art of being a persuasive liar. Everyone knows that, right? When we say Karine Jean-Pierre is a liar and everything, that's just expected. The problem is, though, Eric, she is the worst. I don't say this. If she was a Republican, if she was Trump's press secretary, I would be like, this is awful. Please, dear God, someone fire this woman. It just so happens that she is a Democrat and the worst, or maybe that's not a coincidence.
Well, this is what happens when, having diversity over experience and professionalism is your decision in hiring somebody. I mean, clearly, she seems to be struggling with the job. I think that's a fair statement, at the least, to say.
Yeah, and really, anytime you listen to a press conference, I feel like we only clip and post 5% of her incoherent speeches, because everything that comes out of her mouth just makes no sense. I mean, we're going to move forward with this kind of systems, immigration systems that has been gutted, really truly gutted by the last administration. We're going to move forward and do it in a humane way. I learned nothing in that entire jargon.
No, my favorite press conference would be, I would like to see Harris and Jean-Pierre holding a press conference together. That would be fantastic.
We might need that would be a drinking game that we would need to make out of that. Everyone would go to
jumble in the newspapers or so. It'd be the word scramble. Who knows what it means?
Problem is, if you turned it into a drinking game, every time you took a shot when one of them said something that didn't make sense, you'd go to the hospital for alcohol poisoning. Eric Scheiner, we're all out of time, my friend. Gonna leave it there.